Howdy folks, there's the name of the soap of the day, Parma Violet, Wickham's 1912 version. That's what the soap looks like on the inside on the tub. It's pretty firm. You can barely push your finger inside of it. Has a nice scent to it, I like it. I'm going to be following up with the Lilac aftershave cologne here. Got my trusty alum block with a rubber band. I'm going to use some Thayer's Witch Hazel with aloe. Shaver of the day. See if you can not get the glare, that's a gem. And it has a Treet Super in there. Got this lather whipped up here in a shaving place bowl. It's got grooves in it, not that you can see it. That's what the lather looks like with this ever ready brush. There's what it looks like here in the bowl. Probably, I don't even know if it took me, it might have took me 60 seconds to whip this up. It was pretty easy. I've always had good experience with Wickham Soap. I've already put a hot towel to the face, the bloom water. Yeah, this whipped up with no problem whatsoever. This knot is a, one of these days I'll get a digital caliper out and see how big this knot is. It's smaller than, I guess you might say, what usually is produced out there today. It's not a real big one. It might be in the neighborhood of 18 millimeter. It's not a real big one, which for a bowl that size, smaller knot does work better. It's got just enough loft to it where it's not hitting the side of the bowl, so you don't have to worry about the ting 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 at 4 in the morning. For those that have to get up real early in the morning and get ready for work. You can kind of see this stuff is pretty creamy. By the way, reason why I'm reaching over here is got my mug over here with the razor in it. Keep that blade warm. Feels a little bit better than a cold piece of steel going across the face. Pretty much how that face of that blade is right there, or the I'm sorry, the cap right here. That's pretty much about where you want to keep your angle. A more aggressive angle, more aggressive shave. A number of these shavers don't come with the instructions. But every once in a while you'll see you'll find where somebody does have the instructions and they took a picture of it. And if you find one of those photos and you kind of zoom in, they'll mention about using a light touch with a shaver like this. Light touch, gentle pressure. Quite a bit of feedback. And it is a light touch. If you're looking to get the what they even refer to as a, what I usually do also is a smooth, comfortable shave. You want to pay attention to the pressure that you're putting on this kind of shaver. That and the angle, like I said, you keep that cap pretty much flush with the with your face, and you'll get what I consider a better shave, smoother shave. The this is a gem micromatic flying wing or a bullet tip there, and you can kind of see the slope, the angle of that head, and that's the that right there is what you want to keep next to your face. They call that dot in the middle of a guiding eye, and you can kind of see their principle, their thought process over a good number of years. In a way, it really hasn't changed a whole lot. The looks of the razor might be different, but the whole idea of that cap, or the head, if you will, has been pretty constant. Just one of those things that it's neat if you can get a razor with the instructions with it. Take a moment to read it. Try to grasp what they're saying. Because that's the way to design the razor, is to be used a particular way. So, and you kind of figure also that the of the day, I'm not so sure that their blades were as sharp as the ones we have nowadays. I have a vintage blade. I'm just not how can you say, eager enough to find out just yet how sharp it is. Without doing anything to it. That would be, I don't know. You have to think, how long that blade has been sitting, what's been collecting on it. May not be a fair comparison. It's a little different when you get some that are, wrapped up in plastic and whatnot. And been sitting there for about 10 years or so. When they've been sealed up like that, usually, kind of thinking it might be alright. But some that's in cardboard boxes, where they're wrapped with cardboard, but in other words, have their total original packaging. Kind of makes you wonder how sharp that blade is nowadays. I might get brave one day and try it, but I don't know. It might depend on the packaging when it shows up. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that brave. It'll probably be one of those days that I might get the upper cheeks done with it. That's about as far as I go with it. You can kind of tell sometimes how the shave is going to go with the blade if it's not quite up to par. It's almost like a straight razor shave I had with the red hemp. With the grain, wasn't too terribly bad, wasn't the smoothest, but kind of felt that when I went against the grain with it, that it was really going to tug, which it did. It's like, no. It's all the further I'm going. In other words, you don't have to go full shave to figure out if the blade's up to snuff or not. Normally on Sundays I shave with a DE razor since I got a whole month. December, well, I say a whole month, the majority of it, except for Sundays I'll shave with a shave head or a straight razor or something along those lines, but I think I'm going to try the Flying Wing tomorrow. That was a pretty good find. Including shipping, I only paid $14 for it. Really can't complain about that. That's a good buy. I have a gold one to go with it. Alright, again scaring. I really like using these single edges. It's easy to buff with one of these, kind of like with a Schick injector. Injectors to me are really easy to buff with, especially with a short handle. To me, for me, my experience is the shorter the handle, the better. I have, I guess you might say, it seems natural to be able to buff with it. That's just me. I almost bet that one spot that I have every once in a while that pops up, a way of stinging, bet you it pops up there. Kind of feel it's trying to do its thing there. I've had pretty good luck with Treet Supers. Thinking tomorrow I'm going to use a Gem Blue Star, I think. Haven't used one of those in a while, and I got a few. I'd have to say, if you're starting out using one of these single edge shavers, a gem, that try the get a pack. I think it's 4 or 5 blades from Trial Blade, and give that a try, because it includes a POW carbon. That POW carbon blade might be the blade that I think most will probably not particularly care for. It has a different shave feel to it. In other words, it's not made out of stainless, and since it's not stainless, it in my opinion, it definitely has a different feel to it. It'll be one that if you're not accustomed to, you may not like it. Very similar to the blade I just used. It'll give you some feedback. You'll hear it. If you don't particularly care for that much feedback, then that blue carbon may not be the blade for you. I don't know if you can see it. It's just right there. I'm not sure what that is right there. I think it might be the a spot where I haven't been able to identify the which direction the growth is. I mean, I know all the rest of my face, but that spot right there might have a bit of a curlicue, if you will, that I'm not aware of. I can't see it. It's the only other thing I could think of where over here, because I know it grows in a curlicue like that, it can be a bit easy to irritate. The way that hair grows right there. You can kind of tell that with this kind of shave, if you weren't talking, you can get done in a good 15 minutes. It doesn't take that long with a shaver like this, in my opinion. It comes pretty easy. Lilac. I put links for this, some of these items here, like the aftershave one. Some of these are considered to be barbershop and may not be in the locations where you shop online on a regular basis. But you find your favorite barbershop supply online. In other words, I haven't been able to see this in any of the, let's say, beauty shops or barber supply, at least not in my neck of the woods where you can find it just in the store, but I've been able to find this online as well as some others by this name. And for this is 15 ounces, and it's a pretty good value. Still got plenty of lather. Got lots of lather left in this bowl. Like I said, it probably took me maybe 60 seconds to whip this up in this bowl. And even though it's a small bowl, I still have plenty. This brush here, I don't know if it's the original knot or not. It might have been re-knotted with something pretty close to what it came with, but I haven't done anything with that knot. It's a vintage brush, and I've been using it as it came, just like it is, and it's been working just fine. Small knot and all. And this one here's got a flip top. And you don't know if you can see it or not, but it'll tell you that thickness right there on the blade. That 009. I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but that's a Treet Super there. And that's what it looks like on the inside. See if I can get the glare off of it. Does shade different than a gem damascene. It shades different. You can kind of tell it had a bit of a booger, I guess you might say, right about in there. And it's starting to show a little bit of the brassing, but outside of that, pretty nice shaver. Especially good for travel. Had a great shave this morning. Hope everybody's doing well after Black Friday, Thanksgiving. Got the whole weekend to go. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.